Next to go on are our fuel lines. Just get them all started before tightening anything up. So the first time I did a Generation 4 Pajero, I undid that one, I undid that one, I undid that one, I undid that one, took every line off individually, and then realised it wasn't necessary. So you can make this job take a lot longer, but that's, you know, that comes down to experience, I guess. All right, so these are all on. I'll tighten these up, and then we'll carry on with the next step. All right, these are all tightened up. We're now going to just put the 10mm bolts on. Actually, I should do it this way because this is a little bit easier. A little extension on there. Put it onto the socket first. Okay, now I'm just going to run my wiring just a little bit further, and I'll show you why I'm running it a little bit further now. So I'll plug those two wires in there. And where is that? The clip there, there it is. That clip there. Sorry, that one goes there.
That's all right.
Trying to work out why that wasn't fitting. So we'll put that clamp back on there. Now you can leave these, this wiring till last. That goes on there. But the reason I do it now is mainly for the glow plug rail, which is this wire here, goes onto there, the little 10mm nut there. Okay, so you can get to this afterwards. The upper manifold runs across here, so you're diving in there. Do it now, just nice and easy to get to. And then this cabling is more or less still out the way. Okay, so that'll do us there. So we're now going to be onto the upper manifold. All right, upper manifold. I'll put this little one on, 12mm, just loosely. Slide our gasket in there. You're not be able to see much here, no. But we'll get this happening.
I'll take a look once you've moved your hands for them so they can see everything.
Yep.
You've got plug box behind there.
Now, the Sally's cleaner, I've actually gone off it a little bit because it really has discoloured, and I think I said previously, it's really not an issue, but from a commercial perspective, you want this to be bright and shiny because this is what the customers see. It's totally irrelevant, but people like to see nice, clean, shiny. This is nice and clean, but it's not shiny. So I think I'd rather use that other stuff, the glitz. It's a little bit harder to use. It doesn't penetrate quite as well, but it leaves the work nice and shiny. So when I get in there, and down there, whoop, we'll go this way. Okay, I'll just nip this. I have the 12mm here. I'll just double check that. Oh, thank you. That's good. I do find that these ratchets pretty much get them spot on. That's good. Okay, next we will be putting the throttle body back on, and then the EGR, and then the wiring. Okay, so I failed to mention we actually had this rocker cover off and we did all the valve clearances. Every time we do a manifold clean, we do the valve clearances. Your injector lines have to come off to get your rocker cover off. So it seems really silly to do a manifold clean, put it all back together, and then next time to do a valve clearance, you're pulling the upper manifold off, you're pulling all the fuel lines off, you're basically pulling off everything you pulled off to clean the manifold to do the valve clearances. So every manifold clean, valve clearance. Every valve clearance is not a manifold clean though. So every valve clearance is 30,000 Ks. Okay, so now we've got the fuel line, which is down here. I did make a bit of a mistake. I always use a battery tray to put the bolts in. This battery tray I forgot to clean first, so all the bolts had a little bit of dirt and what have you on there, so I've just put a little bit of bubble wrap down and I've cleaned the bolts. You don't want dirt and grime on the bolts. Okay, so I'll get this fuel line up from here. There we are. Okay, so this fuel line bolts on. All this goes up in there. And put that back on. Got two bolts here. This. One there, might need extension for this, no, we're okay. One there, and we secure the dipstick now as well. That one, that one. Okay, we've got the wire from the common rail, which we bring up like so. We've got a little bracket there. So you know how I said earlier that all the 10mm are the same length? Mm. There is one that's a little bit longer out of all of them. There's really not much in it, and it's the first time I've actually noticed it. It's only just longer.
Only a couple mil.
Now these are only retaining bolts, so they're for little clamps. I can't see it being an issue at all, but yeah, that's one thing that I simply didn't notice. Okay, so we've got that clamped. Goes into there. Okay, that's clips on there. Oopsie. that way. And that one. Okay, this is your throttle body one. We've got your vacuum line here. Goes on the valve there. The rest of the wiring we won't do just yet. We want to get the throttle body on. You've got the gasket. Just hold that out of the way with this bare hand for me, Michael. So. Okay, so get those two started and then we can carry on. Shouldn't have tightened that one up just yet. You'll get at least all four of them started. Okay, now I can tighten them all up. Okay, plug there. EGR. Sorry, so I keep calling it EGR. It's actually the EGR valve. EGR is exhaust gas recirculation. So this is your exhaust gas recirculation valve, exhaust gas recirculation pipe work. Runs across to the other side, runs through a cooler, and then to your exhaust. So that fella in there. We've got this gasket, it's got to go that way. If you do it that way, you'll end up blocking the EGR port and throwing an engine code. So we're down that way. And the 4 bolts are here, just bear with me. I'll be back in just a second.
And while he's doing that, you've got the two 12 mils here.
Just want to get all these bolts lined up. Get that all these bolts lined up before we tighten anything down. So when I put the bolts up here, it might have looked all very random, but they've all got their spots. And these ones here, even to the point where this bolt here is slightly longer than this bolt goes there, this bolt goes here. Right, now where is I just found the 14 mil. Okay, so I'll carry on tightening them up off camera, but this is what I was talking about before. When you actually lay your cabling all out, it pretty much falls into position, right? More or less, you know. So you've got, there we go, that's more or less laying where it should be. So we've got that plug goes there, that plug goes there, that there, there, and there, and then we've got this little fella over here, goes into there. So it's quite easy to follow the wiring, so you really generally don't have to pay a lot of attention to that. You just unplug it, get it out of your way. When you put it back, it lines up pretty good.